the wrong button and killed the music. Hey, welcome aboard. New week here, flying with Mike. Hope you all are ready to go. I see Azul grabbed himself 1L, or better yet, might have taken one of the wing seats. Don't know. Welcome aboard, sir. Glad to have you here. We are flying a little retro today, kind of, sort of, maybe. We're not flying actually for a virtual airline. This is just part of the Life as a Military Brat episodes I've been doing. And I chose American today, and we're going to fly the A319. Now to the lesson given by a instructor out of an airport of how to identify A319s and A320s, because really, if you catch them at the right angle, they're not very much difference in size, even though they are, believe it or not. He says only one door over the wing. True, except there are many airlines that opted for the second door. And so that makes it sometimes a challenge. I'll give you a case example if you want to go look, fact check me all that you want. Check Allegiant Airlines. Put an A320 up, put an A319 up. You're going to see two doors over the wing. So not 100% accurate what he gave, but it's good information for the most part. But like I said, there are many airlines out there that do not subscribe to just one wing exit. Okay, so again, A319, we have the IAE, which I am going to go on a limb here, and if you fact check me, I could be wrong, Pratt's. And I'm actually not a fan of these. I know many of you out there love this engine. I really don't know why. But hey, to each their own. We all have our own preferences. I prefer the CFM. Maybe because that's what I've always seen. But to me, an engine's in it. Wait. Who is this telling me? Where did he come from? Did he go around? Welcome in, bad attitude. He has returned. Welcome in, sir. Glad to have you back. We're getting ready. We're flying Life as a Military Brat. Yeah, we're finally getting back to that. We've kind of shelved it for a little bit. Just a lot going on, and I just kind of got away from it for a little bit, but we're back. We're going to do 2 flights today. For those on Twitch, YouTuber, you'll catch them in 2 different videos. We're going to start in Charleston and end in St. Louis. And if you know American Airlines, you might know what's in the middle. And no, it's not Atlanta. Wrong airline. So, but I'll give you another tip. It could be in the same center. Sure, not a problem, bad attitude. We can definitely chit-chat after the stream. No worries whatsoever. All right, so let's get in here. We are going to fly from Charleston, South Carolina, also home to the Charleston Air Force Base. Back when I was a brat, military brat, that is, maybe still a brat, who knows. Over there were C-141 aircraft, BAs converting to Bs. When the difference between the two is the A's were shorter. They put 10 feet, and I could be wrong, on either side of the wing to stretch it. They threw air refueling capability on it. So that way it could go however long it wanted to go, so long as a tanker was nearby. So, and I lived over there in the mid-70s. Matter of fact, fun story, was there for the bicentennial. That was very cool in Charleston. Um, and of other notable things, to many, the big debate, are you a Trekkie or are you a Star Wars? I was there in line at the theater when the very first Star Wars aired. Very first one, episode 4. Okay, you want to get confused, go down the road, go down that rabbit hole with Star Wars. It'll confuse the living you know what out of you. Episode 4, New Hope, aired in Charleston. I think that's where we went, in downtown. Also got to go to my first drive-in and got to see one of the best movies of all time, Smokey and the Bandit. That was just outstanding. Not only the gigantic screen, but it was just a funny movie. I loved it. I still do to this day. What a great movie. Eastbound and Down. Okay, so we're westbound this time. But anyway, you get so some fun times here when I was a kid. And I'm going to tell you, of all the bases we stayed at. Now, part of me would like to say Scott Air Force Base, not the base itself, but the fact that St. Louis was so close by back then. I would probably rank these two as 1 and 2, and I'm not even going to tell you the order because it would probably change. But if I did it today, there's no way I'd say St. Louis. Oh, unless you really like to take your life into your hands, it's not a great place to be. It and Chicago battle for who's going to kill each other more. So it's really gotten out of hand, and they all say, well, crime is down. Yeah, not the news I watch. Anyone can skew statistics if you haven't heard. All right, so let's crawl up in here, get the A319 up and going, and let's go see what kind of damage we can do. All right, first off, let's take a look at this first part to Life as a Military Brat, Episode 7, Part 1. We're starting in Charleston International Airport, also Charleston Air Force Base on the grounds here. Actually, it's, I think, called Joint Base Charleston. But I'm not going to go. I'm not a huge fan of those monikers. Sometimes I think keeping them separate is actually better than what they're doing. So, but they've been doing this long back. I mean, geez, it's been unreal seeing some of them. All right, let me get some toolkit up here. Where are you hiding? There you are. Oh, and by the way, we are on the ground online if you'd like to join in. Get rid of this. And let's load out. Let's see what we got. A nice heavy load today. 131 peeps joining us. 28,820 pounds of payload. 10,100 pounds of fuel. Not a bad deal. It's not a long flight to Charlotte. We'll get to that in a second. We plan runway 15. We'll double check this with winds. It's a bit breezy there. You can kind of see that green on the other side of the loadout page here. So you will take a look at it a little bit more here. And 24,000. If that doesn't say at all how high we're going to get up, it's not a long run. 30 on the cost index. We'll make up for it going to St. Louis. Okay, and the route again, 15 to 18 left. That may not happen. We'll probably go for 18 center or to the right side. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm thinking backwards. Sorry, folks. Yeah, 18 left probably will work. Got my mind turned around again. All right, here's the weather. 230 at 14 with gusts up to 24. Woo, doggy. Lot of wind here. We've all kind of come to get used to this. Although, if I might be very kind of quietly optimistic. It's not been as windy here in St. Louis. Praise God for that. It has been unreal here in the Midwest, the winds we've had. As I said, a couple of Friday with the super severe weather here. That wasn't the only news story that most of the news outlets weren't even on their radar. Prior to the arrival of those storms, the emergency crews here in many of the Midwest towns and cities were dealing with structure fires sparked by the winds, electrical wires arcing and catching houses on fire. And then on top of that, the storms. So a really 1-2 punch came in that day, and fighting wildland fires. So it was it finally, I think the wildland fire threat may have been minimized with, we had a good soaking rain Saturday night into Sunday, just a very solid 1.5 inches of soaking rain, not heavy downpour that hits and runs, for the streams. This got a chance to soak, which is what the ground really needed. So they're getting it in Charleston right now. Matter of fact, up in Myrtle Beach, they had some pretty big fires as well. You might have seen videos on YouTube of crop duster float planes hitting the water, 2 of them, and then heading back to the flyers. So, they're windy. A few clouds at 7,000, broken 2,000. Down in Charlottetown, little lighter. We'll take it. Anything less than a gust of 24 is great. 10 knots sustained, broken at 1,300. Okay, so we're kind of marginal to instrument conditions, and also broken at 9,000 to 14,000. So, it could be better. But when you have this between Charleston and Charlotte, yeah. So you see why we have some of the low clouds. This is what was here over the weekend, the northern part, wherever that might be. If it's hitting New York City, the Appalachians, I have no idea. So that's what we're looking at, folks. Hope y'all are ready, because I am. Hang on a second. Okay, just wanted to make sure something. All right, so let's get to work, shall we? Now, I have already taken liberties and loaded the plane. You may have, before that second song started, saw the fuel truck leaving. Let's go through it real quick. For persons, what we have here, if you click ATT, you'll get the cabin doors. So you could, if you're set up, have the caterers come up if you click these to open. Otherwise, they'll stay open till you go to auto. Here's our passenger count, 131. I've got them loaded. And our cabin lights, I don't know if this really works or not. And no offense to you, ToLiss, I just never see a change at night, because you're not going to see a change by day. You should, but you don't. Inside, now looking in from the outside, nothing changes, but looking from the inside, you should see the lights come, dim. And I personally have never seen it. So I can't report yay or nay on that. So we'll click ATT one more time. And no, we're not making a call to the AT&T customer line. We're going to go over to MECH, or mechanical. Here's where you can control a lot of other things, to include your pushback if you don't, and shame on you if you don't have better pushback. I was gonna say you might get to see a pretty good demonstration of it today, but maybe Charlotte. I'm thinking we'll do something in Charlotte with it. All right, so we're putting on 10,500 pounds of fuel. Quiz, anyone remember what our fuel load was? Bueller. Bueller. Hey, Azul, wish they had the blue lights. That would be cool. That would be cool. All right, we have 10,160 pounds planned. We put 10,500 in the wings. All right, and then you can also have your cargo. Now, this I want to hold because I think we're going to zero it. Now, what I'll do is come over here, click weight balance. Now, it used to spell out here, but the great folks, now I know I just said I wish they would do this with the lighting. They have listened to the people. When the A330-900 came out, they incorporated their integrated, oh, I can't do it. Sorry, folks. I'm just not that talented today. Interactive simulation control system into the EFB itself. So everything you just saw on that little screen that came up is right in here. Every one of the tabs and everything you could do there, you can do here. And better. No. And you have to have known the commercial that I went with. But anyway, so we'll go to weight plus B, weight and balance, equals weight and balance. And let's take a look. I'd ask, did anyone catch our zero fuel weight? But you guys are like Bueller and asleep. Anyway, no, we are not even close. We're 4,000 pounds off. So I go ahead, head back down here. 0, 0, click load. Always make sure to click load. And then I'll get rid of it. And then we'll go back, reset. Come on, there it goes. 118,873. Okay, who lifted their foot up on their bag on the weight machine there at the ticket counter? Huh? Trying to lighten it up? Somebody did. Maybe 2 or 3 of you. So anyway, we're running about 50 pounds heavier with about, what did I say, 300 pounds more fuel. Okay, so I think we compensated for it. Dispatch can yell at us if we didn't. All right, so there you have it. We're loaded. All right, let's get up here and get the plane ready now. First thing is batteries 1 and 2, they're on. External power's on. You heard the CVR check. So ground control I had on. And fuel pumps are all off. And for those of you that were flying and thought, oh my God, I've got an engine fire. That was me. All right, fuel pumps. Okay, so we are fueled. And how you can tell that, come down, oop, one too many screens. Come down here. All right, in this area here, you would see refueling and your numbers incrementally going up or down, depending what you're doing. Okay, and then you can see the status of the aircraft. So we'll go back up, APU master on. Come back down. We should just wait. Doesn't take long for the door to open. And then we are gonna go to town, getting this plane ready to go. Flap open. Flap start. All right, real quick. All right, cockpit lights. Let's do a quick check while we're waiting on the APU. All the little light bulbs are good to go. The guy that invented the little light bulb made a lot of money with aviation. If not, look at a 747-200 when you do this. A lot of little light bulbs. You know, even if they are nickel and dime, that's a lot of nickel and dimes in one plane. Okay. For now, we'll keep the dome light dim. I'm going to try to remember to turn it off. We'll see. And we're available. Let's see, pitot heat and APU bleed on. Packs went off. Air conditioning panel looks good now. Cross bleeds auto. Pack flow is high because of the high volume of people. Put the captain purse switch to top. And we'll just keep coming down. Air conditioning temperatures. Let's take a look. I'm going to drop the cockpit here. Looks like we're going to have one of these days where OBS is disconnecting and reconnecting. Yippee-ki-yay. Folks, just so you know, this will be on YouTube, so we'll just keep blasting away and hopefully be able to get through this OBS issue rather quickly. So anyway, I do see that we've reconnected. All right, so let's proceed on down here real quick. Oop, come up here. Go to condition. Here lies so. Let's go ahead, drop it a couple notches up here. Get it cooling off. All right, here we go. All right, let's get the ADIRs to nav on bat. Good. 2 on bat. Good. 3. Good. All right, continuing on. Okay, coming down the line here, everything's in order. Okay, strobe lights are in auto. I've got nav logos to 2, and we are good on the lights. Seat belts are off for now, and all the other landing elevation is auto. Fuel pumps, we'll go ahead and restore them so we don't forget and get woke up to another alarm. And in flight. Oh, let's get our McDo going, shall we? Perfect. Go ahead and get rid of you. And let's bring in charts real quick. Now, that is not charts. Okay, so I'm just reading this. Is this approach only? That's approach and. Doesn't say what they're depart. Oh, no. Huh. It does say they're using 1.5, even though 3.3 might be more conducive with these winds. All right, well, we'll take a look at it. Anyway, you can see charts are up. What I'm going to do here, we're going to flip over here real quick. You get an idea where we are. 7,000 feet. 2-1. I think we might just do runway. 2-1. I don't know. This is kind of weird why they haven't switched runways. Something is, something's in place. Who knows? Okay, so let me first off see, do we have coordinates? No, we don't. That's weird. Oh, yes, we do. Right there. Cool, cool, cool. All right. We're in B8, so there's our coordinates we need. First, we need to come over here, check everything out. Remember, last week we updated our nav databases, so make sure you're up to date. Till the 16th of April, they give you a day after taxes before they update them again. All right, now we'll go to Int'l. Now, if you've got a SimBrief account, this works for you. If you don't, and you've tied this to it, read the manual. All you got to do is click it, and you won't get a ticket. You'll get the information to load in here instead. There we go. Now, we need our lat long to match whatever it says for B8. So 53.2. We're already on that side. So 32, 53.2. 80. 2.3. Okay, so click. Okay, and clear, clear, clear. Now, double check 3253.2 north. 3253.2 north, good. Over on the longitudinal side, 080. When I do that, 2. So hang on, lost it again. 080.2.3 west. Perfect. Click it. And when we get to 0 here, guess what? It'll align to those coordinates, not the reference point, wherever that may be on the airport. Okay, click wind. Wind. Okay, there we go. And then we're ready to continue here. This is when it really matters what we're going to do. Okay, let me check the wind one more time. All you got to do is check it here, 240. So really 21 would be a good runway. Problem is, they are saying I could use 21. Sold. So all we do is come here, switch to 21, change to, and look at that. The winds are so much better. So we'll be taking off towards the south, hooking around. Got myself turned around again. Around up to Angry, Paley, SPEC'S, and FILLI. Okay? Not Wile E. Coyote, FILLI. Okay, so how do we do this? Those of you used to Airbus, yeah, you know. You click here, click departure, click our runway 21. Remember, we're going to come out, taxi all the way out on Alpha to the end and launch southward. Don't be like Flying with Mike and get turned around. Okay, and FILLI is our transition. Insert. Now, I'm going to move this to plan, drop it down to 40, and I'm going to go ahead, get rid of charts. Oh, did we have an internet bump? I think that's what happened. Oh, I hate construction. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, I saw that it put it up, but nothing came out. All right, so let's real quick take a look at this. Okay, angry. I'm looking at it on the chart itself just to make sure. So we come off, we make the turn to angry. Paley, Swamp Fix, Swamp Fox, we'll call it. How about that? FILLI. From FILLI, we then head up to ELG. Or FELG. I'm sorry, I thought it was ELG the way it looked on my chart. FELG. Same thing. Click Charlotte. Click Arrival. Now, we're coming in 1-8 left. I'll bring chart in here real quick. Coming in 1-8 left, let's look at our possibilities. Kind of feel like the floor if you watch that show. What are the possibilities for you to choose? All right, so we've got an RNAV. Looks like they're going to both be the same. Let's look. CAVI, ILS, CAVI. So either way, we come in. Let's just do the ILS. We're coming in on the Stalker 4. Don't say that too close to Criminal Minds. And if you don't watch the show, you didn't catch why. Checker? Huh? Oh, there are. Oh, wow, there are a bunch. We're coming in at flag. Is flag up? Oh. No. All right, now we're going to have to pay attention. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to come in. I'm just making sure Charleston didn't have us to flag, finish, stalker, lap, doomy, pour, and leaks. And then we travel on up to Hando and turn in somewhere up there. Okay, works for me. All right, insert. Okay. Stalker. Lap. Did I miss one? Hang on. Oh, side muck. Okay. Do me pour. Leaks. Hando. And as you can see, we could turn in and start in on the ILS at Hando. Could. Might do it. Depends what they tell us, if anyone is there. Okay. Now, over on charts, I am just going to do that. Yeah, you know what? Hang on. That way I have the whole thing. Okay. All right. So we're set with the charts. Now, continuing on real quick, snake, gilge, weed, eagle, and the runway. And then we're going out to locust to hold. And if whenever they tell us, we can come back. Okay, and then our alternate is GSO, Piedmont. Not far away at all, actually. Although it's saying, I'm not sure if that's right or not. Hang on. I don't know if that's 100. I mean, I would say from Charleston to Charlotte could be 200 miles, but I don't think up to Piedmont, but I could be wrong. But anyway, we've got half the battle with the McDo done. Now we get to go to the fun stuff. Okay, perf. Go to the next tab. Again, I will say it like I always do. I don't know what weather they're pulling from, but we can make it to whatever it is. 24011, that's close enough. 21, 22, that's fine. And 3001, okay, so we are going to be changing some things. And 240. Most of this is not going to affect it too much. This big of a plane, those little RJs and CRJs and whatever you want to call them, yeah, it could give them some fun. Here we go. Yep. All right, looks like the old internet. So again, remember, this is being recorded so you can catch it on YouTube. Okay, so if we just flex the way we are at 7,000 feet runway, anywhere from 109 to 132, we can expect our V1. 109, 132, rotate. They say there, but we'll actually be in here somewhere. 135. Always works that way. So come over here, uplink. 3001. Wind I put down is 240 diagonal 11. And we're on a dry runway for now. And flaps 1, request start takeoff data. Don't worry about flex takeoff information just yet. Come on, give me, there's the uplink, and there's the data. Now, what you're seeing here is if we go full power. Now click flex. Now we're looking at 72, 132, 132, 135, 1 up 4. Okay, go ahead, click insert, and what that'll do is put it in here. Now you can lower your V1. Yeah, that was me again, clicking where I should. Okay, V1, let's set it at 125. And unfortunately, we don't see where it's at here. And we're set, ready to go. So we'll go 125 to 132 for V rotate, 135 out of here, and 18,000 for transition. We're not going to mess with this. Most likely, Black Box has this airport not in his database. So with that, I'm not even going to look. Charlotte, I might. We'll see. But we're ready to go here. And final checks. All right. We said 3001. Okay, we're set. Constant or constraints. In case we come back, constraints are set. VOR, VOR. Speed and heading are set for managed. Initial climb out of here. I don't know if I saw one, to be honest. Oh wait, wrong one. Let's look at the departure. Oh, it's 4,000. Okay, and we're ready to go. Anti-skids on, gears down, 3 green. Switchers look all to the 12 o'clock position. And just a quick check. Yep. And the master switches are off. Mode is on normal for ignition. Our squawk was 1571 by Auto ATC. And we're ready to light this firecracker. I hope you are as well. And again, sorry for the multiple disconnects here. Hopefully they're not too bad on you. If they are, just realize I am recording this, so at the end of today, I'll get this stream up as quickly as possible. All right, so let me get down here, start kicking away stuff. Let's go mechanical. Oh, there it goes. Okay, we're on APU. Fuel pumps are on, pack flow set. We're ready to push. Head over here. You know what? No, let's go here. And USIC. Welcome in. Hey, thank you, sir, for the 100 bits. We sure appreciate you coming in with those. I was trying to figure out what sound did I put to that? Or what sound did that come from? And that was from InUSIC. Thank you, sir, for the 100 biddies. Sure appreciate it. Hope you're having a marvelous day. Simply marvelous. Okay, chocks are on, external power's off. Let's close that main door, shall we? DC's on, but they don't control Charlotte. That is Atlanta Center. Okay, doors closed.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I told you we try to get a little fun in this.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, let's just look around. All right, we can pull the jetway.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Cleared to connect. case you weren't paying attention, we're at stand B8. We're going to push back in a way to end up here, and that way we can push out onto Mike, over to Alpha, over to our runway. All of which you did not see. So here's
connected
B8.
and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
We'll do in just a second. So B8 will push back into the alley here. Come out on Mike. Alpha. Alpha to our runway. There's our taxi brief. You all know our departure. So I hope you all are strapped in, ready to go. Brakes off.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, there we go. Light off on number 2. Okay, with the words available up top here on engine 2, we can start up engine 1.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Door locked. We're still coming up. Now, if you came back and you saw the N2 not grade, then there's a good chance you missed the avail and you could start up engine 1. The gray looks like this for N2. We're just about up to avail. There it is. We'll start the timer. Okay, after start checks.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, arm. One. Set. Parking brake locked and reset. Okay, now we'll come up here real quick. Actually, there's our pins. Okay, continue on. Flight controls. We need to be up 4. Do our control checks. Operations, as I remember, bad attitude. Can we not crash the stream? I wish. I wish we had internet that worked flawlessly out here. Problem is when you have 3 lots down construction going on, I can't guarantee they're not cutting whatever. That's what we watched with the laying of a different type of internet system. They don't care. And yeah. I really wonder why those survey crews go out, mark the land, and why they just don't pay attention to it. But hopefully we can try to keep the stream from crashing, or better yet, the plane. But we'll settle for the stream. Wait a minute, that didn't sound right. Okay, we're not going to worry about radars just yet. Auto brakes on, and here we go. Oh, let's get Charleston's CTAF. Yeah, I know Saturday we weren't doing that pretty proper, but we're going to when we're in the airlines. Okay, we're ready. Charleston area traffic, American 1184, taxi to runway 21 for departure. We're going out to Charlie. My bad. That was Mike. Well, B. Believe me, I would rather taxi on the taxiway to not be interrupted by those pushing back. Okay, let's go ahead and clear up our chrono and continue. We're going to go ahead and turn on radars. All right, lapse time, we'll get that started now. And we're ready to go. A check of the ultimate TCAS. Nobody's in the area of Charleston, but some guy called American 1184. Don't know who that is. Oh, by the way, right there's the 787 plant. If you were final assembly, if memory serves, amazing to see when we were up there in Charleston. I think I missed my turn. I missed my turn. I was going, man, we got up to the runway awful quick. And then I thought, wait a minute, we haven't crossed 1533 yet. Little history lesson for you here in Charleston. When I lived here in the 70s, maybe the area with the multiple garage door, hangar doors way over here, that I believe was the terminal, but it could have very well been the small building here. And they were served by DC-8 aircraft for Delta, which I thought was kind of cool. Also, down that little, what could look like a ramp slash taxiway, that was Alert F-106 Delta Daggers. I don't think they were the darts. I think the 102s were the darts. I get them backwards, but either way, they had them there. They scrambled about a half dozen times in the 3 years we were there. This was Cold War, folks. So this was back when, you know, the fact you had an airline on or an airport co-located with a terminal for domestic airlines, that was a feat. Trust me, in the Cold War. That was something you didn't really see. Charleston was one of maybe a couple that had that. Also, the fact that it was on the coast, so it was an intercept base on top of a major military airlift command base with the C-141s. So it was quite an interesting fun. I also got to see one of those MIDOs, minimum interval takeoffs, where they basically, if they do it like they did in the Cold War, which they for the most part don't do anymore, if something happens to the one that just started down the runway, it could take 2 or 3 aircraft to get the whole shebang stopped and to avoid the mishap. And you all say, that's impossible. You think about it, and you realize, no, that's not. That really is possible. So, but it was an amazing thing to watch. And I want to say I watched 20 to 30 C-141s take off like that. That was just even more impressive to see them lined up on the taxiway, one or two on the runway. And every 30 seconds, if that, they were rolling. Pretty much they got on the runway, they were pushing the throttles forward. Very impressive to watch. It is still today, but nothing of the closeness of what it was like. I mean, they literally, the B-52s, KC-135 bases, they literally would get airborne and turn so the wake turbulence would get out of the way, or they would take off beyond their point to stay below or before. First one would go almost full length, and then the rest could stagger up behind. I mean, it's just an amazing thing to watch. Heavies taking off like that. So, but anyway, that was fun, and we are ready to do the same ourselves by ourselves. All right, final checks for takeoff. Let's make sure the cabin is still there. The APU is going off. Wing lights are coming on. Get these set, ready to go. Cabin's been alerted. Do our test to make sure the plane can pass the takeoff test, and it did. And we're ready to go. Charleston area traffic, American 1184 departing runway 24, Swamp Fox 3 departure. Y'all can figure out where the heck that ends up. Okay, here we go. Okay, initial climb to 4,000, then we'll get it going. rain just off to the north and west of the airfield. All right, 24,000 feet, folks, is the top altitude today. We're only going 199 miles. Leg 1. But boy, the beaches over north of the city there on the Isle of Palms, just amazing. I mean, granted, since I lived here, there was a little windstorm called Hugo come through, and yes, it lived up to its name. It was Hugo. I mean, it destroyed a lot of this. All right, we're lined up, ready to go, and here we go. Brakes off. 50%. Well, we have to read EPR language. Timer on. Flex. SRS. Knots. Airspeed's alive, 100, verified. V1. Rotate. Gears coming up. Auto pilote on to make this turn for noise abatement. There's the 787 plant that I talked about. You can see that long line. Today, C-17s rule the day at Charleston, where C-141s were back when I was a kid. Right in front of the control tower here, you can see the remnants of what was the 106 Air National Guard there. And yeah, it was a whole different world back then. They were scrambling for impeding, just like they were in Russia. Their bombers were coming up the coast, seeing how the response was to when they intentionally crossed the line. And they were met quickly by F-106s and other fighters of the day, F-4s, F-102s, F-104s, you name it, they lined the coast at a lot of those bases. Half a dozen to a dozen of them. Not all on alert, but not all staying back either. All right, there's 4,000. Let's go ahead, take it up to 24,000. Okay. Now, technically, the clearance more than likely would say climb to 4,000, 10 minutes after departure, climb to flight level 240. Or until controllers say climb, and climb. But I'm always curious. Didn't have to worry about clearances like that as a private pilot. I don't think I ever got anything like that, even for flight following, and I've only done flight following, geez, a couple times. Usually it was strict VFR, and I only talked to the controllers when I got lost. Happened more times than I'd like to admit. But anyway, we do have the flaps up, correct? Flaps show up and up. We'll disarm the spoilers. I said down. And let's get the radar paddle. Evened up, everything on. Okay, we're climbing out. So I hope you enjoyed that. For me, I love this base. I mean, personally, if we could afford to live here, this is where I would love to live. I don't know so much Charleston proper. I mean, be honest, I'm not going to be able to live on the Battery. Neither will you unless you're blood of Charleston, meaning you have blood relatives. Otherwise, your money isn't going to be taken. I have a hard time believing that one, but that's what we were told. Wow, what a city. Beautiful. If you get a chance, go to what's called the Battery, and you will not, your jaw will just never come off the ground. They are what you would expect in colonial South. Why are they back up? I put them down. Oh. Let's make sure they stayed down. Okay, I don't see them there and there. So, anyway, you can tell this, as a 10-year-old, I fell in love with Charleston. I flat out love this place. Yes, it would get hot by day. The difference between here and Alabama, where we was Alabama was just flat out hot all the time. There was never a let up in that heat. Here, while yes, by day it was hot in Charleston, by night a bit of a cooler breeze came in. Kind of an ultra extreme example. Those of you that live in the desert out there in Vegas and Phoenix and places out west, you know how hot it gets by day in the summer. Okay. How hot is it at night? In many places, especially on the Vegas Strip, they actually put heaters out at the restaurants, because albeit it might be 90 or maybe the upper 80s, but with the heat completely escaping the atmosphere, because it's just so dry, it gets cold. It feels chilly, which is very hard to explain with those kinds of numbers. But it is just weird. Charleston, while very moist, humid by day, that onshore breeze or offshore breeze coming in from the Atlantic helps to dampen that heat to where it's more bearable at night. It's just unreal what it did. It really did make things a lot more comfortable. And even when I've driven the truck down along the coast of South Carolina. Now, inland, yeah, it's still unbearable because they don't get that. But, oh my gosh, that's what set Charleston apart. It was just a bearable heat when you could just say, okay, wait for the night, will be a lot better. Whereas it doesn't work that way in Alabama or other places. All right, we're getting to top of climb, folks, and we'll be beginning our procedural setup for Charlotte. Actually, we're going to have to go ahead and do it now because it's going to be quick. Stalker 4 has us under 23 at FILLI. Where's FILLI? Okay, so we'll be fine at FILLI, but Flogger, we need to come down to 21 to 23. Okay, and then continue our descent into the airport. Again, hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Hope all is well, and looking forward to a pretty good week myself, hopefully. And as long, man, the fact that the winds are in check for the most part, knock on wood. Don't worry, I'm knocking on my head. I know it's wood. We've had a pretty decent day. All right, so we have now reached, I believe, the weather, even though it's not showing on the radar. We've leveled off. Let's get in here and get our arrival numbers in. Why are we at 23? All right, next, and here we go for Charlotte. La 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 boom, dang. All right, 18 left. Let's see how we're looking weather-wise. 220 at 12. As of 17:52. Cool. I don't need to refer to that. Only in that landing, 18 left, 18 all runways they're landing on, and departing 18 left, 18 center. Nothing else to report to you. Oh, VATSIM came up. Ruh-roh. Oh, Charlotte ground. Okay, we'll get that set. All right, so we are looking at 29.89. Looking at a temperature of 18. .220 at 12. All right, and for our ILS approach, let's plan 254. Okay, we're set. We're ready to go there. time to come down. Like I said, just super quick, folks. Really quick flying here. 121.9. All right, we're gonna have to. $118,100. Okay. All right, we're into the descent already. By the way, those of you with the regional jets and CRJs, it's a good run for you right here. And obviously, Airbuses. Sorry, no 737s I could find on this route, including Southwest. So, but anyway, we're coming in. K2989 at 18,000. So hopefully your weekends all went well, and your week is starting off on a positive note. And hope you enjoy this little one-stop flight to St. Louis. And we'll be hopefully turning this pretty quickly on the ground there. We'll take about a 5-10 minute break so I can get some basics set up and use the restroom, all that good stuff. But then we're going to blast off for St. Louis. All right, let's go ahead and set that to 2989. Kind of shocked we're not seeing the storms here. Ah, they pretty much got out of the way. That's why. An update in the radar and they've all moved east. That was quick. Okay, next altitude constraint 12,000 at Staka. All right, we can come on down to 12,000. Hang out for a little bit. All right, got the winds updated. Plan medium. I don't think we took that far out. Let's go. All right, 3,700 feet. We'll set for medium. Okay, and what else did we need to get done here? Flight plan winds, approach altimeters are set. ND is on constraint IWOG or VIC. Is it V? It is, okay. And finally, we are set, rad nav set, speed brakes will be used if needed. As we level off to 12,000, how much further? Okay, LAP, and then we'll hold, and then we'll start down for 10,000. Okay, we'll begin our descent here in just a couple seconds for 10,000, and then after we pass leaks, we'll be getting set up for the arrival into Charlotte. Again, weather not all the greatest. Broken at 1800, broken at 9,000, and temperature 18 degrees with a... Okay, now they have a strong and gusty wind. Yippee, yippee, and yippee-ki-yay. All right, looks like we have a lonely ground controller at Charlotte. Okay, leaks, we're going to come down to 6,000. And then we're going to make our decision as to where we're going to turn in at. Thinking Gilge. Okay. And we're beginning our descent into Charlotte in the clouds. Not expecting to break out until about 1,800 feet. Okay, so we're into layers. All right, so here we go. Okay, so Gilge is just up off the nose. I think we're going to be in a perfect spot to come around and get on the localizer. And glide slope will descend to 4,000, and as we do so, and we should be in good shape. All right, let's get back to the checks. All right, altimeters are set. ND constraints on. FCULS set and on, and McDo RadNav on. Speeds are in managed mode. We're now controlling them. Speed brakes not yet. Flaps 1 below 230. We're going to wait for the turn. And Gilge is where we're at 4,000. Okay, first notch, flaps 1. Okay, we're just about ready to intercept at Gilge, 11 miles out. We'll go ahead, spot the gear. On localizer, on glide slope, lining up. Okay, 3 green. Let's go flaps 2. All right, we're looking at a approach speed of 130. Get those spoilers armed.
$2,500.
And Charlotte area traffic, American 1184 on the ILS for 18 left, approximately 7 miles out. And we got the runway in sight, 2,400 feet. Plus another layer of clouds. I'm going to go ahead and put them right on. 2, 1. That way he doesn't get upset at me for taking forever to get a hold of him. Flaps 3. Lights on. Flaps full.
$1,000.
All right, here we go.
600.
Why is everything red?
400.
100 above.
300.
Minimum.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30. 20.
Retard.
10.
5.
And Charlotte traffic, American 1184 is off 18 left to the ramp. Charlotte ground, American 1184 off 18 left for Charlie 19.
American 1184, Charlotte ground, you can taxi to the terminal via Charlie Romeo.
Charlie Romeo for American 1184. Okay, I'm not certain why the runway was red. I don't think I have a scenery. That was totally weird.
American 802, towers offline, you can switch on over to CTAF 118.1, see you.
Over to 118.1 for American 802. We'll see you.
Okay, do I got any other checks I need to be looking at real quick? Ground spoilers, engines, retract, out of reverse. You ready for here?
A digital aircraft showing ground top and offline.
All right, ground is offline, as he said. All right, we are in the gate. Hallelujah, great flight. Okay, let's get this thing ready for shutdown. Parking brake fans on, brakes look good. Anti-ice bleed for the APU needs to go on. Okay, everything looks good up here. We can turn the cross bleed off. Should have done that immediately. And radar's off. All right, welcome into Charlotte. Again, we're not flying for a VA, so we'll have to just kind of look these numbers up here. I don't even know. Felt like a little bit on the rough side coming in. We'll kind of look here real quick after we introduce you to the one-year-old. Okay, I'm 6 days early, but you know, hey, she doesn't look happy.
Although I wanted a longer nap, but
Now she's happy.
as soon as I changed her diaper, though, she's like,
Papa. Hi. 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 Are you flying the airplane? Thankfully, we're in the chocks. Anyway, yes, she turns 1 year old, folks. So you now have a certifiable first officer. She is now a 1-year-old. And she wants to push every button in the plane. You want to take off and run? Oh, you got to do some dancing for us. Hang on.
dance, 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 dance.
You want to go run? Huh? What's that? Oh. Whoa. All right, let's take a look at this. Get Elevatech up here for y'all. There it is. All right, let's quickly, again, recap. There's our short 200-mile run to Charlotte. The weather has pressed offshore. And then complete it. Complete it. There we go. And here we go. 394 feet a minute. Yeah, for the kind of landing it felt, yeah. That was a weird runway, though. That I have to, we'll look at it again here in a second. But believe it or not, it took, well, showed 2 hours, but, geez, no wonder they're always on time. It's only a 40-minute flight, and they put 2 hours. Holy mackerel. I kind of remember that too. My run from Des Moines to Indianapolis in the semi. They padded me something like, they almost padded me close to 8 hours on it. And they always wondered, why was I on time? This guy wasn't about to tell them, because then they'd cut my time down. Oh, and I can hear him go, that's how we did it. 25 years ago, actually longer than that. So, but anyway, that was a fun flight, I got to admit. All right, let's do the officiality now. Sim Toolkit. They got us even worse, 420. Again, I'll buy all of this, 115 knots. That meant we were slow. I was, oh, I forgot to do that. My bad. It's right. I thought it did that automatically. Oh, well. Anyway, we're going to complete it. Okay. There's our flight. Wait on it. Details again, there it is, showing just the simplicity to it. View some details. Again, an hour flight that's booked for 2 hours. Oh my, is that kind of like, you know, if you call me out to do something, you got to pay me at least 4 hours showtime, and then we'll talk my... 146 miles. The sim brief had it at 199. That's because I think that's still 50 miles. I don't know. That could have been. 1,800 kilograms of fuel and 1.5 G's on the landing. Not bad, not great. We'll show what was throwing me off, kind of, sort of. First off, we were almost 20 feet off the center line. Not good. But we were still well within the landing zone, 1,900 feet down the runway. And I'm looking at it backwards. Okay, here's the threshold, so you can count it off. Not bad, actually, when you really boil it down. And they got C-17s there? They used to have 130s. They were part of the aerial firefighting group. Huh, interesting. All right, so again, here's Charlotte from above. Now, what was throwing me off? And by the way, I think that's C-19 right there where I'm at. I think. Anyway. All right, so we'll go ahead, get rid of this. If you look over, you see the red was thrown. I don't know why we're red. I'm going to take a look. Be this way. Center is fine. Why is this runway red? So that was kind of throwing me off as to, this has got to be scenery. Hang on. No, that's pretty much default. And that one out there is red, so, huh. Another airport that's really gone through some big changes. Charlotte here. When I first started flight simming, this was your turboprops and regional jets. These gates over here were non-existent. To the left of the tower, to the right is the old ISDE gates. And then the other airlines, other than U.S. Airways at the time, or U.S. Air, went into that little outcrow. And then U.S. Air had all of these. Hang on, coming around. Had all of the gates A or B, C, most of D. D was your international, so there you could find the others coming in, but from overseas. Not many, but U.S. Air had several. This was one of their big hubs here in Philly. This one did more international than Philly. So, but anyway, welcome into Charlotte. It was a great flight. No idea why those are red. Matter of fact, bear with me. Nothing here in Charlotte. So I don't know what the cause of why those are red. I've never seen them red. So, unless my computer's saying, I'm gonna die here soon. And that's a big possibility. So, but anyway, that was what I was talking about if you didn't see it, that red. All the white lines and all were red. Same with if you looked at 18 right. Yeah, 18 right all the way on the other side. They too looked red. Only the center one wasn't. That's a new one on me. So a lot going on with my computer, so there could be some issues there to deal with. All right, so we're going to kind of call it for this flight. I really hope you enjoyed. Because I had the beacon off. And I am at a gate that doesn't appear to be working. Odd. All right, well, let's just try and get a decent shot of the aircraft as we head on. I'm actually going to go ahead and shut the stream down, and I hate doing that because, we'll just see what we can do. Folks with Twitch, hang tight. We'll keep it running. Those of you on YouTube, we're going to head out. Want to say thank you for watching, and sorry for the wishy-washy end here. Hope you all have a wonderful work week. We're going to change gears and head for St. Louis next. So stand by, let me do this, and then we'll be right back.